Okay, I am going to go ahead and do my Smith & Wesson M&P 1522 quote-unquote review right now. Now, I already did this review earlier, and it took like 40 minutes. Actually, it was a couple days ago, but somehow my stupid phone keeps... By the time I upload it to YouTube, it's in portrait mode. I don't get it. I tried uploading, I don't know why, I wasn't paying attention, but it keeps coming up in portrait mode and ticking me off. So I had to delete the whole 40-minute video that I already shot. Granted, it was a couple days ago, and I'm not too worried about it. So I'm trying to, I tried again. I don't know what the problem was. I mean, I'm shooting as I sit here looking at the viewfinder in landscape. I don't know why it was somehow portrait when it ends up on YouTube. So I shot a little like 10-second video earlier and even uploaded to YouTube and everything, and it was landscape. So hopefully this works, and I don't have to throw away another long ass video down the drain. Don't know what the problem is. It's happened lately. If you look at my that whatever that knife is, that $10 Amazon knife, the same thing happened on that one. So I don't know why, but hopefully this one won't. If it does, I'm deleting it. So as you can see, I've got two ARs here. This one is the real AR, my Ruger. This one is the new one I'm reviewing, the Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. Now, I'm not going to keep the Ruger in focus really. You can see that they actually are almost the same size. Now, I put them right next to each other, and the Ruger is longer. It's like an inch longer. But just because of the weight of the Smith & Wesson, which you can't tell weight through video, obviously, the Smith & Wesson weighs so much less that you will kind of think that Smith & Wesson is like a toy or much smaller, but I guess it's really not. But yeah, the length, if you put the butts on the floor, which I can't really do that right now, but you will see that the length is probably like an inch lower. So the Smith & Wesson is like about an inch smaller than the Ruger. Inch shorter overall, but it's not a huge deal really. It just seems like because it's so much lighter, I guess, that the Smith & Wesson's a lot smaller. So yeah, that's the first. I'll go ahead and put the Ruger out of the way. This is my Ruger with the Ruger AR-556 with the bug buster scope. I'll put the Ruger out of the way since that's what this video is about, and we'll focus on this bad boy. Now, this is the Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. Got it from gunbuyer.com for $2.99. Can't recommend Gunbuyer enough. Great experience. They shipped it really fast. I ordered on a Wednesday, came the next Monday. So that means if I'd ordered on a Tuesday, it would have come that Friday. If I'd ordered on a Monday, it would have come that Thursday. Even though their site was running a disclaimer at the time that due to heavy order volume, it may take up to 3 to 4 days for your order to ship. No, it doesn't matter. They shipped it the same day. The service was excellent, so kudos Gunbuyer. Very happy with Gunbuyer. And not just that, but I had to utilize their chat for a little bit of service, having to do with whether my dealer's FFL, whether they had it on file, this and that. And it was instant, and super friendly. So can't recommend gunbuyer.com enough. And I got this gun for $2.99 from them. I ended up using a different FFL dealer to ship it to. It's closer to my house than usual, and I was under the impression that their FFL transfer fee was $20. It ended up being $30. It said on their website it was $20, and that's where I looked. But when I called or went there, it was actually $30. Oh yeah, we changed that this past January. Oh, but you didn't update your website, did you? Well, so anyway, the FFL transfer fee was $30. So of course there was no tax or shipping from Gunbuyer. So out the doors was about $3.30. Nominal price $2.99. I could have got it for $3.15 if I would just use my normal FFL dealer that only charges a $15 FFL transfer fee. So you see a lot of people calling this a $400 rifle and stuff. I mean, it just seems to me that people overestimate prices online. Every time there's a price discussion on pretty much anything, I can get it significantly cheaper than what they say. All you gotta do, people, is go to slickguns.com and find try to stay with the reputable sites like gunbuyer.com is one I've used now. Buds is a good one. But I mean, you can usually find these any gun for quite a bit lower price than people discuss. When people talk about this, they call it a $400 gun. I got this gun for $299. Gunbuyers.com's got them right now for $299 in stock. Right after I bought it, it went out of stock, I noticed, for a little while, but it was back in stock last I saw. $299 all day long. No shipping, no taxes, So, people and making YouTube videos always seem to overestimate the prices. And they'll call this a $400 gun. But whatever. Which it is at Academy, and it is at local gun stores, and probably at a gun show too, but don't buy at those places. So, onto the gun. First thing you notice, it's incredibly light. The weight is listed as, I think, 4.8 pounds, and the weight on the Ruger AR is listed as 6.74 or something. So basically 6.8 versus 4.8. So basically 5 versus 7 pounds. But having said that, the difference seems to be much greater than that. Now, I was thinking, this Ruger, I've got the clip. Well, right now it's got 20 rounds in the clip, but 20 rounds in the clip. It's got a heavy scope, so you got to add that. And 20 rounds of ammo is not light for a 5.56. So that's adding some weight to that. So when I actually pick that up as it is, it's going to be even heavier by advantage. And you can load this up with 25 shots at 22, and it doesn't add much weight at all. 22 is like a toy bullet. So I get that, it's not a completely fair comparison, but still, the Ruger seems way, 5 pounds versus 7 pounds. It's like, oh, this is 80% as heavy. If you pick it up, it feels subjectively like half as heavy. It feels so light, honestly. That's the first thing you notice. It's so light. One reason being, everything's polymer. This receiver is polymer. This is metal on my Ruger. This is plastic, aka polymer here. This is plastic. This is plastic. Everything plastic. This is plastic. All plastic. Even this rail, it's not metal. It's polymer. It's plastic. Plastic. Okay, this barrel is metal. This action is metal. That's about it. Safe. The mag release lever and a few other things are. Well, I think it's actually plastic too. Now that I scratched my foot, I assumed this was metal. It doesn't feel like it to me. So everything's polymer on this thing, except a few things like these little takedown pin. Safety is metal. Even the trigger is polymer. Sights, everything. So honestly, in a way that's good because it's very light. But in a way I have to say, people don't seem to want to criticize Smith & Wesson much online, and you never hear bad things about this gun, probably because it's a Smith & Wesson. But I'm going to tell it like it is. You could criticize this gun for feeling cheap. It honestly does a lot of the time to me. It feels cheap, it feels cheaply made. Which if it had an MSRP of $299, granted I got it for $299, but if you could find this gun at Academy for $299 and all day long for $299, it would be a different, or even, and then maybe online you could find it for $249. I'm not asking for it to be a $200 gun like a Ruger 1022, but I think something more like a $250 to $300 gun would be more fitting this, because honestly, it feels cheap, especially second next to a real, this feels like a gun in a whole nother class, and I get that it is, but this feels just so much heavier, so much, look at the action on it. Compare that to this. Let me go ahead and drop the. I hate to do this. I don't think it hurts anything, but kind of always hate to drop the bolt on it, just on an empty chamber. But I will, if I can fucking. Excuse me. Let me go ahead and. This is probably even aluminum. I'm not saying it is. It's probably steel, I guess, but it feels light, There's not much. This is not a heavy action, so there's not much metal on this thing, So I will say that it's in one way it's good because I like how light it is tremendously, especially for a 22. You were taking this backpacking, you were taking this camping, you're taking this hiking. It's going to be extremely nice how light it is. So it's a huge advantage. I'm not trying to take that away from it. On the other hand, it does feel kind of cheap. It's so light. It's so light. It just feels very, very cheap. I'd like to see this gun, as I said, priced maybe at $250, $299 rather than the $400 it normally is. But I haven't had, as far as reliability, I've fired probably 200 to 250 rounds. I know I've fired like 8 full mags and then some assorted half mags and stuff. So at least over 200 rounds. I've only had one failure to fire, which was a light strike, which it wasn't the gun's fault. If you're dealing with 20 long rifle, you're gonna have some issues. The ammo's cheap. It's 5 cents a round. What do you expect? So yeah, I did have one light strike. It was the second round of a magazine, and it was it just went dink, and I just ejected it, picked it up off the ground, looked at it. There was a nice strike on the rim, but it did not go off. No big deal. Everything else functioned perfect. So reliability has been very solid. One malfunction, probably 220, 230, 240 rounds through it, which is about what I expected. You're not going to have perfect reliability out of a 22, but on the other hand, this is going to give you about as good reliability as you're going to get out of a 22 semi-auto. I knew that going in from all the reading, YouTube reviews, etc. I watched about this gun. One thing that's a big positive about this gun, that's not necessarily the case for others, is that all the controls are 100% real and 100% working. Like this, and same as a regular AR. This is the magazine is AR official size, so you can use the same mag holders or mag pouches or whatever as your full size AR. Now, a couple other competitors to this gun I want to mention. There's a Colt version, like a Colt AR-22. There is doesn't seem to be nearly as popular as this, but another way you can go is you can get a Ruger 1022, and then you can get it, which run about $210, and then you can get an AR conversion kit for the Ruger 1022. Basically, you can replace everything on the AR 1022, which run about $129. So I had 210 and 130. You're looking at $340 final price for a Ruger 1022 converted to an AR. So it's a little more expensive than what I paid for this anyway. Although at least you can get the Ruger 1022 for $210 at Academy or a big box store, and for $299, and you can't get this for that. But still, yeah. So if you do the Ruger 1022 and then convert it to an AR, which you're going to have like a thin mag, you're going to have the little Ruger banana clip that doesn't look like a real AR clip. You're going to have none of the controls work. You'll have a charging handle that's just, a dummy charging, stuff like that. So that's something to consider. And a positive that I had read about this and that I agree with is that this gun is completely, all the controls are the same as a real AR. Even the charging handle is short, of course, but that's kind of neat to me. Even this charging handle, see, it's operational. It's just like a real AR charging handle. It's got the same slide release. You can lock it back and you can drop. That's functioning slide release. Safety, same as the operational safety. Now, like the Colt, for example, this slide release is just a dummy. It's a piece of plastic that doesn't work. It's inert on the Colt version of this type of thing. So, one positive to this is that all the controls are the same as a real AR. So if you're, quote unquote training, yeah, you can't perfectly train with this like a real AR because the recoil is not going to be the same. But all the mechanical controls are the same and functioning as a real AR. So I think that's a positive. The sights. It came with these Magpul sights. It has a lot of Magpul branded stuff on it. It came with some Magpul literature in the box. They flip up. And these sights alone are pretty expensive online, I've noticed. I think they're about $40, maybe just for one or maybe both. That's fairly expensive, and you're just getting them on this gun, so that's nice. They both flip up. That's nice. See, like my Ruger has a fixed post in the front. It has a flip up back, but so I don't like that about the Ruger because, like, to me, if you're gonna run a red dot, yeah, I know people co-witness and everything, but I'd rather just flip the sights out of the damn way. That's much better to me because you're getting an uncluttered sight picture. Well, I can't click that front post there out of the way. I've done some research on if I can get rid of the front. It's not a big deal to me, but if I can remove the front post off the Ruger, and it seems like it's more trouble than it's worth, or more trouble than I'm going to do anyway. Like that front post is stuck on there pretty good. I think it's part of the gas block, part of the functioning of the rifle, I believe. And yeah, if you want to replace it, you got to replace the gas block, and I think, maybe correct me if I'm wrong. And even besides that, the pins it's pinned to the barrel are supposedly very hard to get off, and you know it's not easy. So I really like that this has flip up front and rear. I would love to see Ruger go to a flip up front sight as well as a flip up rear sight. Well, I guess one reason they can do that is they've got this rail that goes along the whole thing, whereas the Ruger only has a rail, to the barrel. So that is cool. This thing's It came with another rail. I'm not big on AR, so I don't know how they all work. But it came with like another rail in the box that I guess you attach up here somewhere, and you can put a flashlight or whatever you want on there. I guess like I said, I don't know how those things work. I don't think it's a big deal, but some might like it. Yeah, and I guess it is nice that you have this rail going the whole way, even though it is a polymer rail. The scope. It didn't come with this thing, obviously. What this is, I could make a whole nother video about it. It's a Pinty red dot from Amazon for $20. That's not a misspeak. $20. And it came about the basic. I needed an optic, but I did not want to spend almost any money because I felt like I overextended even paying $300 for this. I really did not want to spend any money. On top of that, right now, I may someday. On top of that, I wasn't sure if I want a red dot. I feel like I don't. So I wanted to test one out and see if I hate it or like it or what. So this fit my needs. For basically a disposable price point, I can get something where I can test it, see if I like a red dot. And at the same time have something to throw on this gun that doesn't cost a lot. Now it ended up costing me like $32 because I ended up paying like $12 2-day shipping because I don't have Amazon Prime, believe it or not. So I ended up paying a little more than I wanted. Like $20 for this would have been a good idea. $30, it's kind of like, just for a throwaway optic that is probably not going to be at all permanent. $30 is a steep price, but I didn't really have an option. If I wanted it here this week, which I definitely did, I could have got free shipping on it, but then it would have been here in like 3 weeks, according to Amazon's release date or shipping time estimates and all that. Not 3 weeks, but like 2 weeks probably. Whereas with 2-day, I ordered this on Tuesday and I got it on Thursday. But, actually I got it today. Strike that. It came a day quicker than it was supposed to. And I didn't even know until I checked my app because I didn't check my front porch for any package. I don't normally use my front door. I use the garage door. Anyways. Yeah, it's a Pinty. I will do a whole nother video, and it's a Pinty red dot, $20 literally on Amazon. I think it's $25.99, but I had a coupon code that knocked it down to like $20.99. And what are my thoughts on it? Well, that's a separate video. I can tell it's kind of cheap, but I think I might kind of like it for the price. A lot of it had decent reviews, of course. That's why I got it. Had like 4 out of 5 stars average. If you read the reviews, plenty of people got duds or say it's a piece of shit. But also, like 80% of the reviews on it are positive and say, hey, it's a good beater optic. It works. For $20, what do you expect? And that's kind of the way I'm leaning right now. At first, I wasn't really happy because it looked like instead of one dot in the center, there's kind of 3 little dots. But you can adjust I don't know what you're even adjusting the intensity or something with this thing. It has a red or a green dot, of course. And, if you fiddle enough, you can get the dot to look pretty sharp. And even if it is 3 little dots, kind of, so what? It's a $20 optic. They're still clustered small enough that it kind of works. So far, so good on the optic in a way, at least that it works. And it's something to throw on the gun to look cool. And, I sighted in with the iron sights the first day before I had the optic and the optic. It's pretty accurate. It's not going to be perfectly accurate. Like I said, I watched a million videos about this, and this is not intended to be a target gun. But it's, it's accurate. It'll shoot probably 2 to 3 inch groups, I would say, at 20 yards that I've been playing with it. And that's me. I'm not a good shooter at all, I'm sure the gun is capable of much more than that. That's off a rest. But yes, I'm happy with the accuracy. It's plenty accurate. It's, what else? Oh, I was noticing the magazines are pretty cheap. That's a plus. It only comes with the 125 round mag, which is a little disappointing. I would have loved if it came with two. It has the adjustable stock, of course, by the way. 6 position, I guess. Like I give a crap. Uh, I think one guy was actually making a point that, it's a 6 position adjustable stock instead of a 5 position. And I don't know myself, I could care less, Like, 3 positions seems like plenty to me. Maybe that, one in the middle, and one at the, you know, let alone the difference in granularity between a 6 position adjustable stock and a 5 position adjustable stock. Like this guy was going gaga over. But whatever. Maybe somebody out there cares. Yeah, the magazines I noticed positive were pretty cheap. Like, I'm not positive what kind of deal I can get at Academy. They're like $25.99, which is cheaper than a lot of the guns I have, where the mags are like $40. 35 to $40. Some of the pistols and stuff. Wow, that's still pretty steep though. $25.99. After tax you get $30. But I found one online. I know I can get one online for buds for $18, $17.99 free shipping, and they're not going to charge me tax. Buds doesn't charge me tax in Texas, so $18. I know I haven't ordered it yet, but I know that's I haven't searched around a lot. I can probably get cheaper than that. But these seem fairly cheap. Like they maybe run $25, but it looks like you can get them significantly less than that. Nominally $25. I saw Midway had them for like $14.99. But I didn't go through the whole ordering process to see how much shit. That's the catch. A lot of places will give you a cheaper initial price, and you end up paying like $10 shipping, $8 shipping. So the total cost is the same. But I know I can get it from Buds for $17.99 with free shipping. So I know I have an $18 price locked in at least, which isn't bad at all. Like at that point, getting extra magazines is kind of a no-brainer. So yeah, I don't really have a lot else to say. It's nice. The trigger's nice. It's very fun. Very, 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 very fun. Fun. Pow, pow, pow. I've seen a lot of videos where people say like it's impossible to shoot this gun without a smile on your face and things like that, and I agree. I do feel like it's a little cheap. Like I said, there's nothing to this. I'm thinking like, how do they charge $400 for this gun? There's nothing to it. It's plastic. This could be a toy gun. I understand the tolerances are very nice and stuff, and I understand there's metal in there. Even this metal, like I said, is not much metal. That's a very small bolt right there. Now this barrel is pretty nice because I saw somebody took down one of the Colt AR-22, and it's like this is like a faux shroud, and the actual barrel is like this thin little aluminum. I'm sure it's not aluminum, but aluminum-looking little interior. And apparently in this Smith & Wesson, this is like the real barrel. This is so, he said for that, he was going back and forth which one's better. The Colt has like a actual aluminum receiver, so he gave that edge to Colt. But the barrel in the Smith & Wesson, I guess this is the real barrel. It's not just a fake shroud like the Colt. So advantage Smith & Wesson. So this is, I guess, a real, actual heavy-duty barrel. So at least there's some metal in there. But yeah, I love the gun as far as shooting. It is so fun, The ammo I was using was, I think, Federal semi-auto match. I paid $17.42 for 325 rounds of it, which you can do the math on that at Walmart. It came out to 5-something cents a round. I also bought some sort of Federal. I generally go with Federal or Winchester brass, just whatever for my ammo. I bought some different kind of Federal. I believe it's still Federal, maybe American Eagle or something like that. It was $2.49 per box of 40. It was also some of the cheapest Federal brand brass case ammo they have. I haven't gotten anything more expensive yet. I might, just for so-called hunting, or maybe even this would make a pretty good self-defense gun, and it shoots so fast that it's non-existent recoil. Maybe like a home defense gun anyway. I wouldn't, sure as hell wouldn't pick it over this thing, for example, but in its own way, it fires so fast you can easily, you easily need to be pumping multiple shots into the bad guy. But I can see how it'd be a pretty, in its own way, kind of a tempting self-defense or home defense weapon. If it was all I had, I would definitely, kind of trust it as or I would use it as a home defense gun. It'd be a hell of a lot better than nothing, So I don't have a lot of battery in my phone is an issue. So and I'm at 25 minutes right now. I guess mostly this takes regular, again, I'm not an expert. This takes regular AR accessories, like you can replace this. It's one of the big selling points. You can replace all these with just regular AR accessories, I guess. To an extent, I think there's some parts like the trigger guard somebody said was like molded in. You can't really replace this easily, those types of things. But the magazine, you load it, you pull this down for each round, and then you just, it's a little, like my thumb's kind of sore, this left thumb. My right thumb's okay. I'm just loading it, a new kind of way of loading the last couple of days. It's decent for load, it's not bad to load. Two of them would be nice. I wish it was maybe like 30 or even more capacity, but no big. So yeah, fun as hell gun. I do like it. I do think it feels cheap. It's very light. Like I noticed one quality control issue, and you're probably not gonna be able to see it, but see this safety? It's not flush with the receiver like it is on my Ruger. It's fine, doesn't hurt the functioning any, but it just makes me feel like the quality control is not the best. If you can see, I think you kind of can. There's a gap, like I could stick my fingernail easily in between it and the receiver. And it's okay because this side of the safety is fine, it's not poking in here or anything. So I don't really have an issue or problem with it, but it's just one thing that's kind of making me think it's a little cheaply put together. No big, no huge anyway, but yeah, it's a nice gun, very, very nice. The Pinty red dot is effective enough, I suppose, for now. And seemed accurate. It held 0, but then again, the 22 has no recoil, and I knew that. It's probably more likely to hold 0 on this thing than on that thing, And I kind of one reason I didn't mind getting it for this thing. Yeah, again, I could just keep going. It's a very nice, very, very, very fun gun. I recommend it, especially if you can get it for $2.99 like me. I think this is the gun I'm going to be shooting more than any other gun for the foreseeable future, because I like shooting my AR a lot better than I like shooting my pistol. Problem is, the ammo's expensive on the AR. It's not expensive. I will say there's kind of a trade-off though. Like when you're shooting the big rounds, you shoot less of them. I mean, part of it's probably because I know they're expensive, so I shoot sparingly and slowly. But the ammo's a lot cheaper, but it's so much easier to just run through it. You just pop, 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 pop. It's so easy to just chew through ammo. But I'm already wondering, like, is it really cheaper? But I'm sure it is, because I've already taken it out twice. Shot about 200 rounds through it, and I'm not even close to exhausting my store of ammo, which I paid like probably about $30 for. The 325 round brick I got for $17.50, and another 200 rounds I got for about $12.50. So about $30 for about 525 rounds. And I've still got probably 300 rounds of that left. I've still got a lot left. So even like I could shoot 30 rounds at $30 worth of ammo for this in one range trip. I've already made 2 range trips, shot way more through this, and I've still got a lot of ammo left. So it's definitely helping. It's definitely much cheaper to shoot. Even though, as I said, there's a certain effect that you shoot a lot more through it because it's so easy and fun and cheap to shoot. That it can maybe cancel out some of the price advantage of the ammo, but it definitely doesn't seem to cancel it all out. You're still getting a huge price advantage on the ammo. So yeah, this is a great gun. Like I said, most reviews don't talk about it. First thing you'll notice, it's incredibly light. That's with my left hand, which is my weak hand. It's nothing to one hand this, It feels like a toy gun. It really, really does. But that's also good in a way, as I keep saying. I don't want to just bash it for that, because if I'm hiking, I'm taking this in the woods, it's going to be that much more of a joy because it's so light, But it does feel cheap. I'll give it that. It does feel cheap, especially compared to the quote-unquote real AR. And again, I don't know what else. What else to say about it. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. Honestly, I've been shooting this without even hearing protections. Maybe that's stupid, but it makes a little crack, but that's about it. It's not much more than an air rifle noise, really. Maybe that's silly. Maybe I'm a dumbass, but so far I've been shooting it without hearing protection. I have been using eye protection for the most part, although even that's probably, of course you should use it, but yeah, it's a great gun, great gun. I like it, and I recommend you get it. Smith & Wesson M&P 1522.